Hi and welcome to the latest Ancient Egypt news from the third week of October. The Egyptian archaeological mission working at Tel El Kharouba site in Sheikh Zayed, North Sinai, has uncovered a massive military fortress dating back to the New Kingdom. It is considered one of the largest and most strategically important fortresses discovered to date along the ancient Horus military road near the Mediterranean coast. This remarkable discovery adds a significant new chapter to our understanding of Egypt's defensive infrastructure during the New Kingdom. The pharaohs of that era developed an extensive chain of fortresses and military outposts to secure Egypt's eastern borders and protect the vital overland route that linked ancient Egypt with Palestine. Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Sherif Fati described the discovery as a tangible embodiment of the ancient Egyptian genius in constructing an integrated defensive network to safeguard Egypt's land. He added that it recounts new chapters of our distinguished military history and reinforces Sinai's status as a land rich in unique cultural testimonies across the ages. Dr. Mohammed Ismail Khaled, Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, the SCA, emphasized that the discovery of such a monumental fortress represents a major step towards reconstructing the full picture of Egypt's eastern defensive system during the New Kingdom. Every new fortress we uncover adds another block to our understanding of pharaonic military organization, he said. It confirms that ancient Egyptian civilization was not limited to temples and tombs. It was also a state of strong institutions capable of protecting its territories and borders. Excavations revealed part of the southern wall of the fortress, stretching approximately 105 meters in length and 2.5 meters in width, with a secondary entrance measuring 2.2 meters across. 11 defensive towers have been uncovered so far, along with the northwest bastion and sections of both the northern and western walls. The team faced major challenges due to shifting sand dunes that had engulfed large portions of the site. Mohammed Abdel Badia, head of the ancient Egyptian antiquities sector, added that the mission identified a 75-meter-long zigzag wall on the western side of the fortress, running north to south and enclosing a residential area designated for soldiers. This distinctive architectural design is characteristic of New Kingdom fortresses and reflects the adaptability of ancient Egyptian engineers to harsh desert conditions. The mission also uncovered a wide range of pottery fragments and vessels, including foundation deposits beneath one of the towers dating to the first half of the 18th dynasty. A jar handle stamped with the name of King Thutmose I was found, alongside quantities of volcanic stone believed to have been transported by sea from the volcanic islands of Greece. A large bread oven was discovered with the remains of petrified dough still inside, evidence that the fortress functioned as a fully equipped garrison and living centre for soldiers. According to Dr. Hesham Hussein, head of the Central Department of Delta Antiquities, preliminary studies show that the fortress underwent multiple phases of repair and modification over time, including repeated alterations to the southern entrance. The mission hopes to continue excavations to uncover the remaining walls and associated structures, with expectations of locating the military harbour that once served the fortress near the coast. The newly discovered fortress covers an area of roughly 8,000 square metres, 3 times the size of the earlier fortress found at the same site in the 1980s, located around 700 metres to the southwest. It now joins a distinguished list of New Kingdom military sites discovered along Horus Road, including Tel Hebua, Tel El Borg and Tel El Amah. As excavations continue, this newly uncovered stronghold promises to reshape our understanding of Egypt's eastern frontier, revealing not only how the pharaohs defended their borders, but how soldiers lived, worked and sustained an empire at the edge of the desert. As part of its strategy to raise archaeological and tourism awareness among the emerging and to encourage school children to visit archaeological sites and museums to get to know the civilization of their country, the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities has launched a new digital platform under the name Trip to organise free school trips for government schools to various archaeological sites and museums scattered in all governorates of the Republic. Minister Sherif Fatih asserted that the launch of the platform comes in the framework of the ministry's keenness to employ modern technology and digital transformation in the tourism and archaeological systems, which contribute to improving the educational and tourism experience, and enabling the students of government schools to visit archaeological sites and museums easily through an organised and secure mechanism. The Minister explained that the platform will allow government schools to organise their free trips to archaeological sites and museums throughout the academic year, based on the decisions of the boards of both the Supreme Council of Antiquities, the Grand Egyptian Museum and the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, which approve free admission to students of the two primary and preparatory stages of schools. He pointed out that the launch of the platform coincides with the beginning of the new academic year, helping to facilitate electronic booking of school trips, reduce overcrowding and accumulation, and ensure the safety of students, as well as strengthen their connection with Egyptian civilization and instilling the values of archaeological and tourist awareness in their minds from a very young age. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has recently inspected the final preparations around the Grand Egyptian Museum, the GEM, and its access roads, ahead of Egypt's anticipated global opening event set to take place in just under 2 weeks. During his inspection tour, the Premier reviewed the last stage upgrades to infrastructure, landscaping, lighting and general appearance in the surrounding areas. The Prime Minister also visited Sphinx International Airport, where he inspected completed landscape, including palm tree planting, underground irrigation systems and street lighting. He then travelled along the Cairo-Alexandria Desert Road to review the newly installed artistic statue near the toll gate. Madbouli also followed up on developments at Hazem Hassan Tunnel, El Remea Square and parts of the Fayum Road, where paving, lighting and greenery have all been finalised. Areas around the entrance to the pyramids, including public seating zones, pedestrian walkways and directional signs, were also inspected and confirmed ready. The PM confirmed that the developments are now complete and ready for the global inauguration of the Grand Egyptian Museum, an event positioned to place Egypt's heritage in the international spotlight. The Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities recently unveiled the new official website for the Grand Egyptian Museum, the GEM, marking a major milestone in the intensive preparations leading up to the museum's highly anticipated grand opening. The new digital portal serves as a comprehensive gateway, allowing visitors to familiarise themselves with the museum's vision, mission, history, founding partners and board of trustees, alongside the unique events, services and experiences it offers. The website includes interactive sections designed to enhance the visitor experience, providing essential information on access and transport with guidance on reaching the museum via various transport methods, visit details, that's information on visiting hours and specific arrangements, e-ticketing provides a secure and streamlined platform for purchasing and reserving tickets online. The commercial zone carries details about the premium retail area, featuring a distinguished collection of restaurants, cafes, shopping venues and gardens. The What's Happening Now section will feature the latest news, conferences and temporary exhibitions. The Archaeological Collections section illuminates the museum's most notable pharaonic treasures and unique artifacts. Furthermore, the website provides complete information on the museum's state-of-the-art Centre for Conservation and Restoration. Visitors can also explore the full range of experiences, including the Children's Museum, the Learning Centre, the Arts and Crafts Centre, an accessibility guide and details on the virtual mixed reality experience, a cutting-edge interactive cultural offering exclusive to the Grand Egyptian Museum in the region. Minister Sherif Fatih stated that the launch of the new website represents the crucial first step in the visitor's journey to the GEM. He explained that it enables guests to pre-plan their exceptional visit, select activities tailored to their interests, and interact with the museum's content before arrival. The minister further emphasised that this move contributes significantly to boosting tourism and promoting both the GEM and Egypt as a premier tourist destination, serving as a model for utilising technology to support the cultural and tourism experience simultaneously. Ahmed Ghanim, CEO of the Grand Egyptian Museum Authority, noted that the website reflects the strategic, far-reaching partnerships upon which the GEM is built. He highlighted that the site is the result of collaboration between local and international teams, prominently including the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, as well as Microsoft. This launch, he added, is a step forward in the museum's mission to deliver a world-class experience, integrating authenticity with innovative modern technology. Mohammed Shaban, Assistant Minister for Digital Services, confirmed that the website was designed with the highest standards of efficiency and user-friendliness, both in its interface and digital visitor experience. He stressed that the design aims to facilitate public access to the museum's information and services, keeping pace with the latest global technological standards and reflecting the GEM's prestigious stature as one of the world's largest archaeological museums. In a move set to bring one of the world's most significant cultural landmarks, Vodaphone Egypt has signed on as the exclusive technology partner for the highly anticipated GEM. So, what does an exclusive technology partnership actually mean? It means every single operational system across the 500,000 square metre museum is being unified under one state-of-the-art Internet of Things platform. That means a smart, fully integrated ecosystem that ensures the visitor journey is easy and intuitive. The move speaks to Egypt's wider digital transformation agenda. By infusing cutting-edge digital solutions into what is arguably now the nation's biggest cultural asset, Vodaphone is building a digital bridge between Egypt's heritage and its future, fully backing Egypt's Vision 2030 and further cementing the country's status as a must-visit global destination. With the world counting down to the GEM's official opening on November the 1st, this unique partnership ensures that when guests finally step inside the world's largest museum, they'll be experiencing thousands of years of history delivered with 21st century tech. Think of it as an ancient wonder re-engineered for right now. And finally, the plague of Akhetaten has long been cited as a possible explanation for the mysterious abandonment of ancient Egypt's short-lived capital city. However, a comprehensive new archaeological analysis by researchers Dr. Gretchen Dabbs and Dr. Anna Stevens, published in the American Journal of Archaeology, analysed the evidence for this plague and suggests it may never have affected Akhetaten at all. It has been postulated that Akhenaten's odd decisions during his reign and the rapid abandonment of the city may be attributed to an epidemic. Evidence of this epidemic comes mainly from textual sources. This is in part because archaeological evidence for epidemics is notoriously difficult to identify. Among the textual evidence are Hittite plague prayers, which claim an epidemic in the Hittite Empire, brought in by Egyptian war captives, as well as a cache of letters from Amarna that indicate the presence of a disease outbreak at Megiddo, Byblos and Sumer. Critically, however, none of these textual sources indicate an epidemic in Akhetaten specifically. It is thus that Dr. Dabbs and Dr. Stevens conducted a systematic archaeological and bioarchaeological analysis of the city and its surrounding cemeteries to determine if a plague ever affected Akhetaten. This work reaches beyond Egyptological sources and focuses specifically on data from Amarna. Recent work in archaeology and bioarchaeology has created a sort of scaffold of expectations for a city affected by an epidemic through the studies of cities and cemeteries where epidemic diseases were historically recorded. We've been able to take these expectations and compare what we see at Amarna to what is expected of an epidemic city cemetery, explains Dr. Dabbs. These studies showed epidemic disease affected all kinds of systems, from building and maintaining structures to burial patterns to demography and beyond. We pulled information from all of these different lines of evidence at Amarna to compare what we know from Amarna using textual, archaeological and bioarchaeological data to what we would expect to see if the city was impacted by an epidemic disease with substantial mortality, and over, what we actually see doesn't fit the expected models. Surrounding the city of Akhetaten are various cemeteries, including 4 intended for the general populace: the South Tombs, the North Cliffs, North Desert and the North Tombs cemeteries, which contained roughly between 11,500 and 13,000 burials. Excavations between 2005 and 2022 yielded nearly 900 interments, which formed part of the current study. It was found that while skeletal remains showed stress markers including low adult stature, spinal trauma, linear enamel hyperplasia, which is a dental growth interruption, and degenerative joint disease, these reflected economic and social hardships rather than epidemic disease. Disease markers were generally rare, with tuberculosis only identified in 7 individuals. Most bodies which were not embalmed were interred with grave goods, textiles and mat coffins. In addition, burial positions were not generally disorderly or unusual, suggesting burial was not a hasty process, as may be expected if an epidemic caused a large death toll. The most striking change, which may indicate an epidemic, was the unusually high number of multiple burials. However, demographic patterns suggested cultural intentionality, particularly the frequent pairing of adult females with children, indicating a culturally driven motivation for multiple burials rather than crisis management. Crucially, paleodemographic modelling demonstrated that the total number of internments fell within the expected ranges given the city's population, life expectancy and time of occupation, which would unlikely be the case in the event of an epidemic. Finally, the city's abandonment pattern does not fit an epidemic scenario, as it seems to have been systematically abandoned with orderly collection of possessions and continued, albeit lower, occupation, even after Akhenaten's death. Given this information, it is unlikely Akhetaten experienced an epidemic during the reign of Akhenaten. Dr. Dabbs explains why the theory may have persisted for as long as it did. This is one of those cases where something makes logical sense if you don't look at it too critically. To be fair though, until very recently, the data to critically assess the presence of an epidemic at Amarna were not available. Egyptological sources provide lots of different connections between Amarna and scary words like plague and/or epidemic. Multiple Amarna letters mention plague. The Hittite plague prayers connect an extreme mortality event with the Egyptians. Members of the royal family died at Amarna. Amenhotep III built a lot of statues to Sekhmet, a goddess of disease and pestilence in ancient Egypt. It creates this network of circumstantial evidence that links Amarna and Akhenaten and the royal family with disease from largely textual records written in and about other places and/or times. Once the seed of that connection was planted, it became a fact through repetition. Dr. Dabbs also clarifies that while an epidemic could not be established in Akhetaten, this does not mean the Hittite epidemic did not occur. The Hittite plague prayers could be an honest reflection of what happened in the Hittite kingdom. It's also possible that the source of the outbreak was a group of Egyptian prisoners. One of the points we wanted to emphasize with this article was that we must be careful in using data from temporally and geographically distinct locales to make arguments specific to Amarna or any ancient location. And that's it for this week. This news podcast is brought to you by Ted Laux and GNT Tours. Ancient Egypt News is now rated in the top 5 Egypt history podcasts according to feedspot.com. Follow us on social media and now on YouTube. Check out our website at gnttours.co.za for news of next year's tours. Thanks for listening to this episode. Please feel free to comment and share. Until next time, thanks again. Cheers. Bye-bye.